Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Thank you, Ubisoft, for sponsoring this stream for me to play Assassin's Creed Shadow before it comes out.
Show him the hammer and sickle.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about Ubisoft paying influencers to play their game, which is one of the saddest and most pathetic wastes of money that I've ever seen. It is honestly atrocious. As your company is spending a fortune on this game that is basically being graphically destroyed by games from 2014 and 2015, and games that are in all respects better from the past. You're paying people upwards of $2.1 million to get them to play the game. And so what I want to do is I want to go over this because I think this is something that is just absolutely atrocious. It really is. Getting people to play games, immediately I don't trust what they have to say about the game. Immediately. I'm not more interested in going to play the game. And also, who you choose does have an impact. For good or for bad. There could be somebody who's very, very big, very, very popular, very, very influential that could lead to sales. Instead, you chose somebody like Hassan, which is the worst possible option I could possibly think of. Like, if I'm creating a list of people that you don't give money to play your game, Hassan is number one on the list. This guy's a terrorist supporter. Like, that in and of itself is disqualifying, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff. This guy is a toxic, narcissistic retard. But anyway, I digress. Nick Lombardi, Streamforge founder, took a deep dive into the analytics of Assassin's Creed Shadow's influencer sponsorships. His overall verdict? Sponsoring streamers who aren't gamers and or only doing it for the money is not a winning formula. Hassan barely streams gaming content, and when he does, it's almost always sponsors. Tyler 1 immediately went back to League. This is a very, very, very fair criticism, and it is absolutely apt. It makes no sense to start throwing money at people that are a bad fit to play your game, maybe because the people behind the scenes politically like them or agree with them. But the fact of the matter is this: if your game is popular, if it's successful, streamers will naturally play it. You don't have to pay them a cent. As evidenced by the fact that most of the games that became popular were by studios that were relatively small. Or maybe they weren't small per se, but like Arrowhead Studio with Helldivers 2, you didn't have to pay anyone to play that game. People jumped at the opportunity to play it. What was the other one? For a while, this was really popular. It was Card Game Simulator. That was super viral for a little while. Didn't have to pay a dime for influencers to play it. So, my main point here, and I do want to bring this up because apparently this is Lombardi also dropped an estimated rate of how much streamers were paid by Ubisoft. Hassan leads the pack with nearly $80,000 paid out over a couple streams. $80,000 for Hassan. Hassan. That is the worst money on investment I've ever seen. You would have a better chance of winning a payday from that decision by taking that 80 grand and basically gambling with it. Holy criminy. So, number one, Hasanabi. Hasanabi, 76,500. I don't know who Ilo1 is, 72,000. Your Rage Gaming, 54. Tyler 1 only getting 37? I mean, come on. Like, these are not gamers, and if they are gamers, they're not gamers for this particular type of game. Like, I'm not sure why you would choose them of all people. This whole thing is weird to me. There are people making decisions at this company that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Let's see. I'll be honest. I'm not sure I understand the specific strategy Ubisoft went for when it comes to creator selection. On Twitch, they chose Hasanabi as their champion. I imagine he was actually far more expensive than the estimate above. As a creator his size gets to charge a premium. But more specifically, Hasanabi barely streams gaming content, and when he does, it's almost always sponsored. Hassan's Assassin's Creed stream came in at half the viewership his streams normally do, which indicates a lack of interest from his core audience. I also see they sponsored Tyler 1, which seems quite random. He streamed the game for 2 hours, then immediately went back to League of Legends. I believe this is not a winning formula for showcasing your game on Twitch, and they are absolutely right. They are absolutely right in this analysis. Why would you pay a fortune to these people? $40K to sponsor Hassan for a few hours on one stream. Pretty impressive numbers for the Gucci bag socialist. Absolutely. I mean, that's absolutely true. Why on earth would you pay that sort of exorbitant money to a freak like Hassan? Oh, because he has numbers. Yeah, but not for you. He's not a gaming channel. His audience are not the people that are going to be playing the game. If anything, him even mentioning his game to the audience, there's more than a 50% likelihood that they'll hate on him to not play the game because Assassin's Creed represents colonialism, and his audience is retarded. They're not the people that you want to go for either. But what it seems like they had people that they personally liked and they wanted to support, which is not the way that you do business. If you're looking for the best return on your investment, you look for people who you believe could give you the most value for what you're offering. Some people may not like this suggestion, but one person that I would have suggested is Dr. Disrespect. I mean, the color scheming is on point. Not to mention the fact that a game that has to do with hack and slash, isn't the story, you can basically skip right through it. I think that would have been a much better investment than a song. I think that there are a lot of people that you could look at where you could pay them and it would make sense. I think there are a lot of people you could choose and it would make sense. For example, you could go with somebody like Tim the Tatman. Tim the Tatman, I don't know if he's still playing Marvel Rivals, but when he does content, he usually gets clipped a lot. Something like that could go viral. There's a lot that you could do, but you chose Hassan. And don't tell me that Doc is too controversial because you picked Hassan. You picked the most toxic, brain-dead, terrorist-supporting, degenerate, subhuman retard on the planet. And you said, we're going to give you a bunch of money to play our game. So don't tell me it's about controversy. That would be a limitation, because it certainly doesn't appear to be. But 2.1 million. Now, of course, this is just an estimate. It could be more, it could be less. But we saw a lot of ads, more than we usually do, and I'm just not sure how this game got made. I'm just not. You mean to tell me that you didn't have enough confidence in your game going in? That people were just naturally going to be interested in playing it? So you had to go to Hassan and other people? Like, that's shocking. If Hassan is your ace in the hole, if he's your champion, you have messed up in ways that I can't even articulate in this video. You have messed up in ways that I didn't even think were possible. But I'm going to tell you what happens next. Your game was a pile of dog shit. It wasn't fine. It wasn't fine. It was terrible. So, I see layoffs in the future. I see a lot of layoffs. I see people coming to terms with the reality that choosing and making decisions based on their political, their political preferences is not the best way to conduct business. I have a feeling that in the near future they're going to come to regret a lot of the things that they've done here. A lot of the misspent money, the bad optics, the bad business decisions, and the lack of any accountability. I think it's going to hurt them a lot more than the people behind the scenes realize. And there's going to be a layoff reckoning coming soon to Ubisoft, the likes of which that we probably haven't seen in the gaming industry. It's going to be biblical. It's going to be big. 2.1 million. What a waste. What a waste of money for a game that it couldn't sell itself, so we have to pay people. And I know what they're thinking. Okay, 2.1 million. If we get people to buy things in the store, maybe, half of the people in Hassan's audience go and pay $1. First of all, they don't have $1 to send. They've already sent all their money to Hassan because they think that he's going to bring about the communist revolution. And these people who give Hassan their money, they're under the delusion that when the revolution happens, that they're going to be the ones on top. They don't realize that they're going to be the ones strapped to the machine pushing it and wishing for the system that we currently have. They're going to be bootlicking grunts like they are now. It's amazing. These people that are part of this, socialist thing, they think that they're going to be the heroes. No, they're going to be the ones that the next generation come in and just put to the guillotine. But yeah, Ubisoft has made a series of terrible and indefensible decisions, and I don't know if there has been a game that has demonstrated the failures in the gaming industry more perfectly than Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think that anyone who says this game is fine, that it's fine, I think that person is absolutely full of shit. I think they're talking out of their ass. There's no way that you can look at this game, whether it be the game itself, or the marketing, or the presentation, or the bad decision making, and say to yourself that, yeah, this is the best they could have done, they did a great job, this is a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. This game is not a 6 or a 7 out of 10, this game is a 3. This game is a 3. I'm tempted to lower it a point because of stuff like this, because of just how absolutely brain dead the people there are. But as it stands at the moment, it's a 3. It's a 3 out of 10 game. It's below par. It's playable, so it's not a 1. But in terms of graphics, it's not stellar. You know, people have, oh, the graphics look good. No, they don't. No, they don't. That is something that you are using as a cope. No, they do not look good. Maybe you haven't played very many games, but back in 2015, back in 2020, we got games that looked a hell of a lot better. We did. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.